Okay. I didn't even introduce myself, so my apologies. Some of you may or may not know who I am. My name is Miss Nikki Alexandria, okay? Out of Detroit, Michigan, and I am just the host for this evening, and I'm super excited to be able to introduce our captain. I know you guys already know who he is, right? But when I tell you that this gentleman is absolutely amazing, I mean, he's almost 30 years into the game, okay? Very successful, knows how to build this business, knows how to help people move along, right? Knows how to build people up. He knows exactly what he's talking about. And so I hope you guys are ready as I go ahead and bring to the line none other than our captain, okay? Our captain, the man with the plan, none other than the millionaire mentor, Mr. Jason L. Scott the first. Mr. Scott, are you on the line, sir? I see you. I do see you, but I do not hear you.
Yes, lady. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
There you go.
I was trying to stop those dings from coming in. I appreciate
Oh,
it. Hey guys, do me a favor, everybody, please make sure your entire team is on this call. This is a team call. This is something I normally do myself. But also, if you can send me the text, Nick, for the call itself. Another thing you guys can do is this. Go to where it says participants right here. Click participants. You'll see the invite button. Click invite and then send it to your team members. This just go to on your phone or on your computer. If you send it, if you got a group of text on your computer, do it that way. But also make sure somebody take the invite and send it into the chat right now. Because even though it might have been something promoted early today, a lot of people may have forgotten about it. If you have a personal team you're working with, get them onto the call immediately because it's going to be like really be important. I know a lot of times we look for people to be entrepreneurs or be adults and get on the call themselves, but many times they just need some assistance in the very beginning as they're trying to figure out their flow. Even though we give them calendar training, they don't always focus on it yet. But Nikki Alexandria, I appreciate you, lady, hosting the call, sharing the information, edifying the entire process. And that's why I want to get people on this call tonight because I'm going to actually be talking about edification. So it's important that you get the people on this call because this is going to be one of the most important calls for people to know how to maximize leadership. Let's go to Stephanie Fowler, Dr. Stephanie Fowler, how to maximize leadership, how to maximize the organization and help people succeed. So please, if you put it into our personal chat on Telegram, put it into our group that we have on the legacy, legacy builders. Please make sure if you got a personal group, make sure they're on the call. I'm going to have a few other leaders, of course, share some information, some insights as well tonight. But I want to kind of go through some basic things, and so that way Sonia who can actually confirm some things with me as a co-captain on what we're talking about when it comes to edification, because edification can really be the make or break in your organization, in your company, and how you build this thing out. So let me get right into it, guys. I'm actually going to share a PowerPoint because I'm going to try to keep this thing as short as we can so that I can give it an opportunity for other leaders that know the information, can help me to actually lock it in. That's why please get your people onto the call. If you got to send individual text, and again, send it to me as well, Nikki, if you can, so I can forward it to a few people as well from my phone, just so I can make sure they don't forget. So I appreciate that. So let's get into this. Let me get and share this screen with you guys, but I want you to take some notes because this part of what we're sharing with you is going to be really important. Many of you guys may have heard it before, Christian. And your wife, you understand edification is really important. That's why we do it. That's why when Nikki actually introduces me on the call, it's really important. So thank you so much, lady. I appreciate that. All right, thank you so much for that. And put it into a hey, the team calls tonight so they know that is happening right now for me. If you can, thank you so much for that as well. But let me get and share this real quick so I can get into this. So once I cover this, I can have a few other leaders helping me in this process, right? Let's go ahead and get into this real quick. All right, let's talk about this right here. Let's talk about edification. All right. Now, edification is really important because this next phase that we're going into when it comes to you guys leaving from the organization, when you guys leading in the organization and leaving from the organization, is knowing that edification is something that's important and what edification does for your business, that it empowers the recipient. Let me just get to put everything in here in case you guys decide you want to copy it or something or put something together on this right here. But edification empowers the recipient, right? That's one thing. It builds credibility for the speakers. It builds credibility for the opportunity. It shows unity in the team, and it builds your credibility by using the success of your upline or your cross line to gain credibility. What does that basically means? It means that when we coach and we ask everybody to edify, like if you guys see a banner, it's not just saying there's a banner and just posting, hey, get on this call, guys. If you actually when we say to you to introduce this information over to one of your, like let's say we say do a three-way call, it's not just saying, hey, I got this guy I want you to talk to. Hey, I got this girl I want you to talk to. I got this lady I want you to talk to. And learning that edification actually is like, it's like a hot potato. When you actually edify us, we're going to pass it right back to you. Because the people that you know, as I go deeper into it, guys, they know you for you. And I'm going to share with you how, because they know you for you. They may not respect you in the right way. They know you, they trust you, but they may not respect you. So therefore, when you invite them to the call or something, they may not show up on the call. But it empowers you, the speakers, the opportunity, and it shows unity and builds credibility by using the success of your upline to gain credibility, all right, as well. Now, it creates enthusiasm and curiosity. Let me see if I can put everything up here real quick for you guys. All right. It creates enthusiasm and curiosity where the person you are prospecting wants to meet your upline. For instance, we did the call just now, and I was telling everybody, hey, and let people know that Juju is going to be on the call. And I was telling everybody who she is. I said, yeah, you can let them know if it's a vet, you edifying the fact that I've been a vet, the fact that I'm an entrepreneur, the fact that I'm maybe a pawpaw, like other people that you know what they do, how they live their lives. You can use that by saying, listen, and this person's down to earth. He knows that he's even though he's doing this stuff, he's very successful. Hold 1 second. So the thing is this, or get on this phone call. Let me introduce you to. Take it off yourself a lot of times. Sometimes people are so afraid to edify someone else because they think that someone's going to take your person. That's not how this process works. When we're edifying people, it's not so we can take your person. It's so we can actually build credibility for you, but it builds enthusiasm and curiosity for when you telling the person to meet your upline. Now, once they meet your upline and they see that they're everything that you said they are, and your upline edifies you back, then that will give you credibility. And so you see, when every time Nikki edifies me on the call, when she talks, edification is just a form of speaking highly about something or someone, right? So when she actually speaks, when she actually talks about me, all right, hold on a second, because I was waiting for that text to come in. I got to add in here so people know it's a call happening right now. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that real quick. I'm sorry, I didn't want to stop, guys, but I got to get this out the server because it should be a lot more people on this call, and some probably just haven't been checking into the chat, so they don't know. So I want to make sure I give everybody the equal opportunity to get onto this call with their brand new team members and family members as well. All right, because this is also something they need to know, but this is also part of edification. When you have a schedule and your people know about the schedule, it's important that they actually use the schedule, because again, not getting onto the call is almost a form of not edification, but what we call de-edification. So if there's a call happening, if your sponsors are there, it's kind of like we always say, never miss an event that you're qualified for. So because we don't want you to miss the event, we want to make sure that you invite your people to the event. Let me see here. Okay, good stuff. I see, thank you so much. I see somebody posted it just now again in our chat. Again, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna put it again in Anxious for Nothing as well, because they hear it from you, hear it from myself as well, AB, to make sure that they know, because it's just as important. I don't want nobody to miss what we're doing and what we're talking about right now. So I apologize that I have to do this, guys, because again, we got a lot of people who are brand new and they're babies, what we call babies in the industry. So what I want to do for a moment, though, because I shared some insights so far, I do want to make sure, because I got a co-captain who really understands this stuff, and I want to make sure that you're just not hearing it from myself as well, but having a chance to hear her, and as she actually shares some insights on the edification, what I covered so far as well. And I have more notes for you, but based on what I covered so far, Sonia, I want you to just give some additional impact off of what that means on what we're talking about so far.
Okay, thank you so much, Captain. Thank you for all that you do. Basically, what that means is, when you have someone that you introduce into the business and you call, say, for instance, if you call Captain Jason, you may know him as Jason. I know him as Jason, but you call this person and they're your prospect. You call your prospect and say, for instance, if it's her name Sharon, you call and say, oh, hey, Sharon, the person sponsored me, that's his name, Jason. Hold on a minute. Let me get Jason on the phone. So you didn't even edify him. His is actually Mr. Jason L. Scott the first to your prospect, even if you calls him Jason to your prospect, because your prospect, they know you. They haven't met Mr. Scott yet. You're going to give all his edification, because if you tell them that Mr. Scott has earned, he's a 7-figure income earner in the industry. And the person who you put him in front of somebody, so be like, wow, you want to give his full edification. And then you have to check with Mr. Scott to make sure that he is available. You don't call him on the fly, just at the drop of a dime. Oh, hey, Jason, I got this person sharing on the phone. Then you just automatically three-way that person in. You ain't checked with him or anything. And now he on the phone with this person. He not going to probably just hang up in their face, but you don't do it like that. So when you actually marry, because see, they trust you because they know you. They don't know Mr. Scott yet, but they're going to respect what you said about him and what he has done in the industry. You have never made 7 figures. You probably ain't never made even multiple 6 figures, but they're going to respect what you have edified about him. So when you marry success, because he's successful, and plus they trust you when you marry them two together, trust. When you marry trust and respect together, then you have success because they trust you because they know you. They've never met him. They don't know him from a can of paint, but they're going to trust it, what you said about him. So that edification is very, very key, because sometimes I tell people, when they just call me at the drop of a dime and they got somebody on the phone, you hadn't even checked with me. And just like Mr. Scott said, just on a call that we did, he's on our last huddle on Friday night, he said, if he already got his schedule planned and a person just called him and he already got this block of what, he's not going to answer the phone because he's already scheduled talking to somebody else. But okay, say for instance, he got that window free, but you have not properly edified him. And then he answered the phone, and now you got your prospect on the phone and you say, oh, hey, Jason, this Sharon, I got on the phone, Sharon, this Jason I've been telling you about. That's not how you do it. So you never ever do that. So it's very, very important to edify, just like Mr. Scott said, is not for him, but you do the edification prior to getting him on the phone. He don't want to hear how great he is in front of your prospect, because you want to set the call up, and then tell him a little bit about your prospect so he can throw it back to you. Tell him, okay, she's married, she has a full-time job in corporate America. She has 3 children. She's a homeowner. Give him some information so when he get that person, when you do schedule the 3-way, you like, Mr. Scott, I have, but that other person, they not Mr. or Miss. You want to give him Mr. Scott. I have Sharon on the phone. Sharon, this is Mr. Scott that I've been telling you about. Then you zip it up. Then you get Mr. Scott on the phone. He's gonna say, "Oh, hi, Sharon. How you doing? Sharon told me some really, really great things about you. I understand that you're a senior project manager in corporate America. You have 3 children. Wow, how old are your children?" And he said, wow, you're gonna, one great thing about working with XYZ, he's gonna edify you as well to that person. And so it's just really, really key to make sure, because some people really don't know. I'm glad that that our captain is talking about this subject tonight, because some people kill their business without edification.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing that right there. And listen, that's why I promise you, I've been saying, I was telling Twala, everybody, listen, we got to get some edification, because people just don't know what they don't know. We only respond to what we know. And it's not anybody's fault, but it is your problem when you learn the thing and you choose not to implement it, or you learn the thing and we teach you that that's the reason why we're able to have success. Like everybody reason why people want to rock with Daryl, because he's been edified in the past, whether people heard from how he was showing up, what he was doing, even how he posts things on social media. And somebody may have said before, they've given him accolades over the past, or Twala, we've given her accolades over the years. So when people, like when Sonia said Twala's joining, it's because we know of her story. We understand what's going on. Or if we didn't know, someone had to tell her story for her to get on the call. That's why before we introduce people, we don't say, hey, let me talk to this girl. She been rocking it. Tell them, Twala. No. We tell her background. We tell some things about her. We let people know exactly why it's important to connect to her. So let me get back to this. For those of you logged on, make sure your team members are onto this call, because this is one of the most important calls that you're going to have an understanding of. All right, and we're talking about edification. All right, so now I got some more people on the call. Now, the thing is, when you're edifying people, and when you're edifying your people, you have to be honest in what you're saying. Don't make anything up, because people will see through it. If they meet your upline and you have not been honest, it won't take them long to figure it out. And then you have lost credibility yourself. Let me put these other things up here for you as well. Now, edification, what it does for your business, right? To your business, it builds confidence in yourself, because you start to see success and you hear successful people that respect that respect you, edifying you. A lot of times I'm talking to people and I'll say great things about them and tell them, and sometimes they'll text me and say, what do you see? I don't see that in myself. But I'm like, well, I see it in you, because I'll be edifying them, or I'm edifying them to people. And sometimes people, they'll feel funny because they're not used to it in that process. But it's important that we let people, that we talk highly about each other. It's important that you talk highly about your sponsor, because our ability to move your organization, to move your people, is a direct correlation to how well you edify. All right, that's important that you understand that. However you want to write it down, you don't want to use the word correlation. I heard it that way a long time ago, so I remember that way. Our ability to move your organization is a direct correlation to how well you edify. If you don't edify your upline, it's hard for us to get on a training call with your people, and they move if you don't edify right. If you haven't been edifying your upline, or you haven't been talking highly about them, and now if I happen to reach out to your people around you, because I understand this industry in a way that few people understand. And I say that because Sonia understands as well, that we don't just work with the person we sponsor. We work around people to build relationships, to help other people move while you're trying to figure things out. We're moving on your behalf. So some people these are my people. Don't talk to my people. I call them, I let them know, but then you don't let them know nothing. So then, therefore, they end up quitting. And then when you see other people moving forward, you're like, I don't understand what's going on, because you have not edified your leadership and your sponsorship. And like I said, it's a hot potato. When you edify me, well, I'm gonna give it right back to you. Other than this, I know she says a lot about me, but let me tell you about this young lady. What's going to happen is the people who know you, your friends who've been knowing you from Junebug, Rufus, Cephas, I'm saying whatever, baby and them, they be like, what? She does what? I didn't know he'd be doing that. Now they looking at you, and looking at you a little bit differently. They're hearing about you a little bit differently. See, everybody is nervous when they first start out in network marketing, right? Business, we start this business, right? Edification, it reduces the nervousness. It gives you an opportunity that when you get somebody else on the phone line, you edify them. Now you're able to remove yourself out the picture. Let someone else talk on your behalf. But because you said great things about your coach, about your mentor, the person listening to them, now your nervousness, it starts to go away. It starts to be, oh my God, okay, I feel good that somebody else is talking on my behalf. But when they're talking, now you're listening and you're learning. You will know you have someone in your corner who's fighting for you, who's going to help you every step of the way. When you actually start to allow yourself to be a part of the edification of what it is that we're doing. All right. Now this triangle works this way. You have your friend, and your friend trusts you. And then, of course, your friend knows the expert, all right? And the thing is, your expert brings respect, because they trust you, but they may not respect you yet, because they don't know you for this. They trust you, but they don't respect you for this, right? Because they don't know you to have success in this. So you actually edify the expert, so the expert can bridge that respect, all right? And then, of course, they're going to give it back to you in this process. So it's important that you know it's okay to edify, because again, they know you, they love you, but they don't respect you. And once you understand that, you'll stop trying to do it on your own, and let someone else help you in this process to raise your value, especially when you can edify someone else who has a particular value that you talk about. Now your person has curiosity. They want to meet the person that you're connected to, that's outside of the circle that you've been working with. All right. Or you may edify them. They may be successful as well. So now you're edifying them to let the person that you want them to talk to see that they're talking to a colleague, or someone that they may perceive as a colleague. So you have to ensure that you let your expert bring that respect, all right, and gives it back to you as well. All right, as they edify you. So that's why it's important that you edify us, so that we can edify you. You edify us, we edify you. You bring the trust, we bring the respect, but we're going to edify you so your person can see you, and your person can now respect you for what it is that you're doing. Now, the main thing you should be doing if you're new to network marketing is edifying your upline and getting people in front of them. You know how when we first get started, I always tell people, amateurs start a business, professionals launch one. Our job is to launch the businesses, not just when you're an amateur, you're like, hey, get on call. You just got started, get some people on this call. And your people don't know what to say, don't know how to contact and invite nobody, because you haven't walked them through the process. But also that's a form of de-edification when you have not plug them into the leadership, plug them into the process, give your people the opportunity for them to grow. That's a form of de-edification, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But what's really important right now is that even like these calls, when you know that I told you last week, we do these calls every Wednesday at this time. It should be in your calendar. We do a call last Sunday. I do this call, even though like while we're in this challenge, I normally do this for my personal group already. It's been our Wednesday night leadership mastery call where I normally teach leadership and skill sets and things about the industry and business. Our vision mastery is like it's like more personal development and things like that. Like the call we do, it's our team huddle. We personal development and things like that. And then of course now I still add it because we all knew I'll add some additional strategies and things into it. But all this stuff is important that we're actually working in this space because it's edification. All right. Now let your upline get new people registered into your business so you start seeing success right away. Edification creates a team atmosphere. Matter of fact, I don't want you to just hear that from myself. Coach AB, can you hear me? You open your mic?
Yes.
Hey, young lady. Now, you remember when you was on your path to director, you remember how you was telling everybody, you said, man, listen, she's blowing my phone up. Kwanja she got me an overload. She's doing so many three-ways. She got me going on. But I'm saying, tell them about how that process has worked, because like I just told them just now, let me show it to you one more time. Wow, I want her to share this with you. All right. I said, let your upline help you get new people registered into the business. All right. So you start seeing success right away. Edification creates a team atmosphere. And again, you was helping her to get people enrolled by doing the three-way call, because the three-way call is a brief continuation of the exposure process. People need to be exposed several times. And this three-way call, when you edify, is just one part of that. So Coach AB, share some insights with them about that process, how it's been beneficial. And of course, from what you've been doing now and what you understand as an industry leader.
Yes, edification is like major, and it definitely is something that has to be taught, right? Because we don't do that naturally. It's just it's not normalized for us to like edify people. So when you come into this space, it's something that as Jason said, it has to be genuine. It should come from the heart. I believe it should come from just personal experience that you have with, your leader, your business partner, whatnot. So when Kwanda had that assignment that day, and literally she wore me out because it was back to back to back. The first thing is that you always want to text your sponsor or your coach to make sure that they're available, right? Because sometimes people will be on the phone with somebody, they're excited or whatever the energy is, and then they just click over and call. But if you're not available, that can put you in a different situation. So she would text and ask if I was available. Yes. Kwanda her edification is like on another level, honestly. It's not a bunch of hype, but it is just a genuine affinity that she has for me. I mean, it's reciprocated, because when I give it back, it comes that it's that way as well. So the way that she does it, she's never, introduced me as AB. It's always, this is Miss Blackley, or this is Andrea Blackley. And she mentions obviously some of my success. Well, she does a lot of the edification before I get on the phone, like Jason said, because when we get on, I don't want to hear all of this stuff about myself.
Right.
Honestly, it's like, it's weird, but sometimes it does happen. And so, just my personality is, I'll receive that humbly, but I immediately throw it back on LaQuanda. And I edify her in a way that's obviously genuine and authentic. And, I make the key points. I'll always tie in that, because of who LaQuanda is, and, just how I was going to say how she rocks, and how she flows. I'm like, whoever she's connecting me to has to be somebody special, and not giving that as fluff, but LaQuanda knows, we're not doing, man, these words are coming, Jason. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it real how I said, like riffraff. I don't want to call people that, but it's like quality people. And so the thing is that when the way that LaQuanda edifies me, what it does for the person who's listening is it adds a level of respect, right? An expectancy of, I mean, they don't know what I'm gonna say, but I play off of that. Now, once she does that, I throw the edification back on LaQuanda. Boom, that's a couple of seconds. And then I get into the space with whoever I'm talking to. I like to keep it comfortable and like really down to earth, right? And so I'll ask them, okay, LaQuanda's introducing me to you, well, tell me what's going on. What did you see? What did you hear? Or what, like, talk to me, right? And I do that, and they loosen up. I don't know, not that they're tight or whatever, but I learned that in those three-way conversations that when you listen more, they will tell you exactly what you need to say. Because sometimes in three-way calls, you can get on the phone and you'll just start throwing up everything. Just da da da. No, just listen. And people oftentimes will tell you what it is that they need, why they're here. And sometimes before even getting into business, honestly, it may be something that I connect with personally. And we'll talk about that too. Because what I want people to understand is that they are coming into a community,
Yeah.
that it's not just a business, and that you actually matter. And so, given that introduction to the culture, if you will, so that it is really a relaxed situation. And then, but when we're finished, and LaQuanda does this too, I'm sorry, she'll say what she says, and then she's like, okay, I'm going to mute out. She mutes her phone. Right. And she doesn't say anything. Now, I'm kind of a little bit lenient on that now, Jason. I'm like, you don't have to mute all the way because I might throw something back, at you and say, hey, LaQuanda, hear that. But she just has that level of respect that she knows that I'm, quote, the expert. I'm going to share what I need to share, edify her. And then once we're done with it, then she'll unmute. She comes back. Thank you, coach, so much for your time. Every single person she's put on the phone with me, by the time we get off, they're like, thank you so much, Ms. Blackley, for your time. Just like you can just hear the countenance, being on a respectful level.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
it was back to back. Good.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I want you guys to hear that, because this, like I said, when you actually edify, it gives the ability for your person to speak on your behalf. It allows you, and the reason why, again, Kwanda does it, because we all come from an old school space in this, but we tell people to mute. Because when you're muting, you're having a chance to be quiet, listen, and learn. And when you start to throw things in, and because when we're talking, because of how well we do it, and again, you're all gonna learn it. As you start to ask questions, if I start asking questions, I'm going someplace with it. I'm asking, when they're responding, I'm going someplace with it, based off of what they tell me in the very beginning. I'm going someplace. But when you start going, oh yeah, don't forget Mr. Scott, tell them about this, you liable to be like, Mr. Scott, and I didn't hung up the phone, because if you throw me off, and because listen, I'm already a person, I can be very forgetful, Deborah. If you throw me off, I'll go down a rabbit hole. I'm a person where, because it's challenging sometimes to focus, Rebecca, I'll get on a rabbit hole, and by the time I come up, I'm way across the field. And when I pop up, I'm like, what was I talking about? And now you threw my whole process off. I'll hang up and let you, since you want to talk, I'll let you get in talk. So I would say just be quiet, Christian, listen, and learn, so you can start to see. Quandra knows how AB, because they done so many of them, so they know how to flow together. And you start doing this thing with your coaches, you start learning how to flow. Again, in the very beginning, you're a mentee, and that your coach is a mentor. And because mentorship is wisdom without waiting, all you have to do is hear what they say, do what they do, and then as you start to learn, you'll start to understand it. But in the very beginning, this is what's important. So get your screenshots of how you want to do. When it comes to in the very beginning, when people say, "Well, I'm not sure what to say about my coach," well, listen, it's easy, because in the very beginning, we always say there's 4 points for edification, even if you don't like the person. All right, so don't be like, I don't like them. Listen, you don't gotta like them. Just edify. Just say, listen, this person knows 100% of the information. They love helping people. They make some serious income, and they love to have fun. The reason why is because there's four basic personality styles of people, and we'll go into that training a little bit later. And because of these personality styles, when you tell somebody, listen, this person knows 100% of the information. The people who are information-based people, the ones that got to know everything, they hear when you say they know the information. When you say this person loves helping people, the people who are personality styles that they about, we are the world, we are the children, we are the ones that make a brighter day. So let's start healing. They about that life for real, for real. Because of that, when they hear it, and you say that person helps, they all about that. When you say this person makes some serious income, the people who don't care about the fluff, the nonsense, they don't care about none of that stuff. They want to just get right to the money. So when you say serious income, that's the thing. You could have made a person that you're edifying could have made $100, and that's serious. It is, because $100 is serious to somebody who don't got $100 right now. So don't think that you got to have had made $1 million to say this person makes some serious income. Because people want to make money, they want to get to the money. And then of course you have those who love to have fun, If you know how we say having more fun, we get more work done. That's me. If I'm not having no fun, I'm like, I'm out. I got to have some fun in the process. That's why I make these jokes at different times. Sometimes I'm joking for myself to keep myself going. All right, because I have to have fun. But if you have a person like myself on the call and you start giving too much information, right, and you're not listening to how I'm being edified in this process, or I'm being taught as I'm talking to you as a guest, if you're not catching how I'm speaking, I'll be like, I don't want to hear all this. It's too much information. So just know that your 4 points of edifying in the very beginning. Listen, let me introduce you to Andrea Blackley. This young lady, Ms. Blackley, she knows 100% information. She loves helping people. She makes some serious income. She loves to have fun. Listen, she's really busy, but let me see if I can catch her. The reason why you say that, because even though we tell people to block our time, sometimes you may call. And if we call and we may miss the call, something may be going on. The call sometimes go to voicemail. It's just, how funky things be happening. We could be trying to finish up another call and get back to you. And if you happen to miss the call, you can always say, see, I told you they're very busy. I told you they're busy and stuff, but I'm going to see if I can get them back on the call again. All right. So you just make sure you start with this process right here, guys, so everybody can do this. And then you'll learn some additional things. You'll learn additional things about the person. But this is one thing that you can always say about someone. Now, this is edification by action. This is why this is important. All right. Being on time and arriving to your meetings early. That's honor. This is why this is important, guys. When I'm asking people, when I ask you to put it in your phone so you can be there early, is because when the team logs on, they're looking for people. When your guests log on, they're looking for people. If your team, listen. Sometimes the meetings sometimes you need the meetings, and sometimes the meeting needs you. Write that down. Sometimes you need the meetings, and sometimes the meetings need you. Let me check the time real quick. So because of that, guys, you have to be on time. It's fun when people log in and they see things happen already. It's not fun when they log in. Some of your guests, like, I don't know if you ever did a Zoom. Sometimes you could do a Zoom, and when you log into the Zoom, you'll find AB that people let's say if they log in about a couple of minutes early, which I've seen that happen a lot of time, and nobody else is logged in by 9:01. So we see this time do a launch call at 7:00. If your guests haven't logged in early and we're not getting started yet, and I'm waiting for you to log in for you to say something, by now I've seen people at 9:00 on the dot. They don't see you, they out. They'll log off the Zoom. At 9:01, they don't see they log off the Zoom. They will literally leave the Zoom. That's what I'm saying. And then later on, you're trying to get them back. Get back on them, back on now. And some people you're talking to, they're about that being on time stuff. Some people logging on because they may be checking to see if you're a person of honor, and that you're that person, that you about that life, because that could be who they are. So you have to make sure that you recognize that you have to be on time, because that shows honor to the organization. It shows honor to the leadership. Taking notes and paying attention. That's why everybody always say, Mr. Scott's always taking notes, because I like to make sure I show in the organization that the information that the people are giving is important. That means if my team see me writing, they'd be like, oh, well, let me get a pen. Latasha Watt, she was saying that we went to the event, right, in Atlanta. And I'm at the table. Like, everybody all suits and ties having a good time. But I still got a notepad. That's who I am, because I never know who's going to drop a note. I'd be like, oh, they just gave the key to life. They gave, and I'm a person where I may not remember the key to life. You know what I mean? But sometimes people can drop nuggets, and if I don't, I'll be like, what do they say? What do they say again? So I have to write it down so I can go back to it. So I'm always taking notes, and I'm always paying attention, because I know that my organization. It's like your kids. Your kids be watching you a lot of times, how you show up. When your kids see certain things you do, they start to emulate. They start to do things. The organization, Deborah, is the same way. So when it comes to this stuff, you got to take notes, because we say leaders take notes, leaders study notes, and leaders implement the notes. All right, and pay attention. That's why when I'm doing the calls, like a lot of times, I know we've been on the calls, and it's challenging in these day and age, because now everybody's on the phone trying to get last minute text out, trying to respond back to other people. So you be on a call like this, but you still be like down and stuff, and people can see that you're down and not looking and things like that. And we all over the place. So sometimes your guests, they're not reading the screen, they're looking at you. And then in their mindset, they may be like, not important to them. So they said so much about this person, they're not paying attention. So it must not be, they must not be who they say they were, because they're not even paying attention. Am I making sense? So all these things that the reason why I operate the way I operate, because I'm an old school network marketer. We learned all this stuff before social media became a thing. So I've learned to, so I still show up the same way. because I don't want some things just stand the test of time. Some things are they laws that you have to abide by. You have to allow yourself to operate in those laws, because what you do to your upline, your downline will do to you. The way you show up for your upline, your downline will show up for you, because they're watching you. So if you don't care, they don't care either. If you got your camera off all the time, they got their cameras off. You know, we telling, because we look to bring energy. Like when I be talking, you guys know, like a lot of times when I do calls, you guys see me, I'll say, cut your cameras on. And when I'm talking, I can see the person. I can see when they're talking. I can see when they're like, I can see if they're like lost. I can see certain things. So it allows me to go, what was that about, Sonya? Or like the other day, Sonya was like, she was like, let me got to see my coach. I'm like, no, I'm like you was talking. I'm like, yo, she rocking it. But I'm watching everybody else. So as you going through the calendar training, I wasn't like worrying about the time, because we co-captains. So the time you take is the time you take. I'll adapt to that and stuff, man. But when I'm in that process, I'm like, yo, she really rocking this. But you was able to see me because my camera was off. Other than that, the camera off, you be like, I hope they were. No, you see me. You see that I'm here. You see that I'm present. You see that I'm adding value to the call. All right. Attend the meetings. All right. And a lot of times we tell people, like back in the day, we always say attend. If they're business meetings that we say that's business casual, be business casual. Now, a lot of times today, we're more relaxed. It just is. A lot of times we be more relaxed on calls and things like that. But if it's a meeting that we say that this is how we should come dressed in this space, everybody don't have to be like in a you don't have to be in a tuxedo or nothing like that. But we do say at least be representable in a certain space. If it's going to be on the phones, we at home, we cool. If it's at a meeting that we're doing face to face, we say kind of come in this space for here, come in that space, because there's guests that's coming, and sometimes we don't be too much. Back in the days, everybody had to have a suit and tie on, right? AB, right, Sonya, everybody. You sometimes can't even get in. You told me you coming in there after work. What? You wilding? You better don't come in here without a suit and a tie. You got me? And that's how it used to be. But nowadays we're in a more relaxed space. So I'll leave this as a quick caveat that, again, just as you start to know where we fit in, just allow yourself. I'd rather be safe than sorry in most places. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm coming, but we're gonna do this, let's do this correctly in our space. All right. Now, edification by actions is volunteering. I remember we got a chance to get to that event when we was down there in Orlando. AB volunteering. I'm like, girl, we ain't get a chance to take no pictures. You know why? Because as soon as she got in there, she volunteering. Nikki Alexandria, she's definitely a person. She a volunteer. Now, even myself, I'm a person. When I see things going, I will just start doing stuff. I'll ask you, okay? Want something? I would just what else you need? Anybody need anything else? I just come from that era where I recognize. Let me be a person of value. I don't like to walk in like I'm that dude. I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? I know that people edify me in that process, but I also know if my leadership is in the room, what else can I do to make this better? What else can I do? What you need me to do? They go, no, you fine. Okay, great. And I'm still like this. You need me to do anything? You need me to do something? Or if I see something needs to get done, like the call the other day, we had the call and Watt was on the call. And like I said, the thing is this, a lot of times we be on the call, like we'll get on the call early. We was on the call, but I wasn't prepared to do the call. I'm like trying to get things together. I pop on the call. She ain't saying nothing yet. I'm like waiting for her guest. I'm waiting for her person to log on. Sonya, I'm like, okay, I got to put on a shirt or something. I'm running to try to put on a shirt, put myself together. So, and as soon as I cut the camera on and cut the mic on, Nikki was like, hey, how you guys doing? I'm like, there you go. That's exactly, because that's edification by action. You don't have to see when you just volunteer it, because you know that you have to be present as a leader. You just go ahead and just do those things. Offer to do presentations. That's edification by action. Don't just wait to see when you see that we're all doing it and you see that everybody's going around the clock. Say to yourself, listen, I would like to be able to, I would like to introduce you. I like to host a call. I would like to do the products. Or I would like to be a testimonial. That also teaches you how to present, how to be in that space. All right. When I had the call today, I said, even though, she's done things with her group on the side and she go live on IG and everything like that, she never really been on a platform here where she was doing like an opportunity call, Juju. So I'm like, look, listen, we can do the call here. And I'm like, let's do another training. We're going to do a training with everybody. I'm like, let me add some additional value so we can rally behind one another. So we let other people see that it's not just them and us. We all coming together. All these things are important when you're rallying. When I'm saying inside the chat groups to bring some energy, if you see the chat group is quiet, don't just look at it and go read and keep it going. No, bring your energy to the chat, because you have no idea. I'll text one of my people. I'll say, and there could be somebody that's not a director. They should be showing us, you do me a favor, text something in the chat, bring the chat alive. They'll text something, and one person who was watching but wasn't replying, as soon as they text something, they start replying. Other people start engaging because one person would just say morning or do something, because our thing is remembering that when we're building a team, you can't wait till you got a team. Then now you want to start participating. You participate now, so when you got a team, you kind of stay in the flow. You know what to do. If you wait till you got a team, and it happens all the time, it's like teaching people to fish. Deborah, I remember, like, I've been fishing like all my life because my dad used to fish. I remember, people can watch a fishing stuff. Like, I'm telling my friends, I'm taking my friends, and we're in the projects, right? We're going fishing, right? Now I'm from the hood, but my parents from South Carolina, so my dad used to hunt. Oh, I'm in a project. He want to bring coons to like raccoons. I'm like, yo, bruh, you can't be bringing squirrels and stuff. My friends gonna laugh at me. And my dad like country. Right? They grew up. That's what they had to eat. They had to what they cooking what they eating. So we in the project. I'm like, he bringing turtles. I'm like, who does this stuff? Hey, he bringing whatever that he cooking. So my friends are seeing this stuff. So one day I'm like, listen, they like, I see you and your dad. What y'all be doing? I'm like, we fishing. People fish. I'm like, yeah, me. So I'm taking them fishing. Now I'm telling them what's going to happen. How are you going to fish? How are you going to do? I said, when you put the line out here, I said, it's going to bite us. When you feel the tug, as you do a quick thing, you hook it, then you reel it in. They're like, okay, I got you. So now they hear me while I'm saying it. But as I'm saying what to do, one of my friends throw the line out, something hit it, and it's like everything that I said went out the door. He didn't remember nothing. He like, what? I'm like, so no matter how much we can tell people to do this stuff, no matter what we can say, until they actually do it, they don't always remember it. So therefore, when I'm saying offer, rally, be a part of all this other stuff, it's important that you don't wait until you got a team. Learn it now, so when it happens, you're not going to tell what I do, because it happens all the time. I can tell you what to do when you get one person, go binary, but you're not paying attention. And as soon as you get somebody, what do I do, Mr. Scott? The same thing I've been telling you for like the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. This is what you do. All right. Now, returning your upline calls. This is another form of edification by action. If Twyla calls me, I normally, first of all, she calls me, I'm hanging up the call with anybody else and I'm taking a call, unless I'm doing a three-way or something like that. When she calls me, I'm like, this Twyla. If Darryl call me, it's Darryl. I don't be like, I'll call him back later, because I recognize I'm honoring who my sponsor is. I promise you, any one of y'all can get it. I'm like, I'm out. She calling. If I'm talking to Amy, like we talking today, she's like, call. I'm like, all right, bye. I wasn't like, hold 1 second, I'm like, bye. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to Nikki, she's like, this down. I'm like, I already know I'm about to get the hang up, so I'm not even wait. Well, let me say my last words. I know she's out because she recognizes that it's time to return, like rather than return the upline call, she honors that right there. I honor that right there. And it's important that you do the same thing. Keeping your word and doing what you say you're going to do is important when it comes to this process. All right. So let me see where I'm at right here. Edification by actions. Let me finish this real quick. All right. Now, other thing is this: building for events, registering for events first, participating at the meetings by clapping your hands or nodding. If you're on the calls, nodding and showing all this other stuff. You probably heard the same jokes that I just said 1,000 times. You crazy, Mr. Scott? Don't just be like this. Don't have your guests looking at you and they like, damn, I thought he must be, you know what I'm saying? Because trust me, your guests watching you. So if they watching you, you like this. Face twisted. They like, now you be like, my guest hung up. You know why? Because they watching you. I'd have hung up on you too. I don't want to join you either, because they're not on the call for me. They're on the call for you, but they're watching you. They seeing how you showing up. But we got to know that we have to build for these events. Everything is an event. That means if we're doing these calls, it's an event. That means this call is important. You need your people on these calls because this information could be delivered in a way that you can't deliver it yet. This is information that we need to know right now, because going to this next level for this director's challenge, we got to be making sure we edify them more. So people know the reasons why we should get on these phone calls. You want to go director? Edify the speaker who's going to be getting on the calls. That's why when I sent the text out today, I don't just like to send a banner. I like to put something in there that people can copy it and put it in there, because they don't know that's edification. That's why I said this is a veteran entrepreneur. That's why I said this is TV personality. Dude, that's why I said Sonia, this is a business entrepreneur. You say these things so that so you're edifying in the chat, not just the banner. If people see the banner, they don't know who that is. They don't know what that means. Am I making sense? Because we get paid for these things, guys. We get paid for retail. We get paid to recruit, and we get paid to promote. And the person who promotes the most, the biggest, the most, and get more people onto these calls is the winner. The more people who can get this thing happening is the winner. Registering for an event first. If then there's an event showing up and they say register, don't wait. Don't be the last one. Register. That's edification by actions. Participating at the meeting, clapping hands, bringing the documents and products that you need. That means if we come into an event, don't always be like, hey, you got some more tea? You got this right here. You got some NRG. My guest wants some NRG. Have some stuff already ready. You know what I'm saying? Don't expect for me to sell my pack and want me to give you the cash for it. You got me? Because your person want to try something right then. And you be like, Mr. Scott, you got some stuff that you can give to my guests? You know what I'm saying? No, have some products, have some things when you come to an event. If there's documents and things that we because back in the day, documents used to be, it was a time when we didn't have phones. So after a presentation, people would have applications. And we would have applications, and you get a stack of applications, people, phone numbers, addresses. Listen, we used to get socials. It's crazy, right? I'm like, back then we was wilding. We getting socials, everything. Meeting.
This is so good.
All the information. We took that serious though. I'm like, to this day, I'm like, man, you know what type of crazy work that people in the world had done with those things? But that's how we was in this process, man. So make sure, guys, that when we come here, bring the proper things for you to continue building your business out, that you can get this thing rocking and rolling. All right, now before I go into de-edification by actions, I want to see Nikki Alexandria, anything you want to better share about what we shared so far, anything you want to better drop at this particular point of what we covered so far before I go into de-edification by actions.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Mr. Scott, and to, of course, AB and Sonia. I when I first got started, guys, I didn't know about edification, okay? And most of you who are new, you may not know about edification or the importance of edification, right? Edification is really going to help you build your business because, as Mr. Scott said, it's going to give your expert the ability to start working and moving your people until you know how to do it, right? So all of this is a learning process. When you're doing three-way calls, actually muting the phone out, that's the way, or you learn to ask questions. You learn what to say to your people because all you're doing is you're building, right? You're building yourself up. But when I first got started, didn't really know anything about edification, okay, on this level. So it was all a learning process for me. And then when I started to watch, like, I don't know if you guys like watch award shows and things like that. If you ever watch the award shows, or like I found myself one day, Mr. Scott, watching like an old Soul Train. Telling my age a little bit, but it was a Soul Train show, right? And just listening to how, when the performers would come onto the stage and how, what was his name? Don, how
Don
he would
Cornelius,
Don Cornelius, how he would edify, the performer, and so I started to pay attention because I never paid attention to it before, right? And all it is just building respect. You have to be able to say something good or say something nice about another person, okay? Because I promise you, when it's your turn, all right, because everybody gets a turn. If you're here long enough, everybody's going to get a turn, right? When you say something nice or good about somebody else, when it's your turn, you're going to want people to edify you as well. And if you start off in this process, being a part of this organization, being a part of this movement, being a part of this culture, if you start off not being able to say something nice about somebody else, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for you because as you start to build, right, your people are not going to say anything nice about you. What you do to your upline, what you do to your leadership, okay? And it doesn't even have to just be your upline. What you do to your leadership, what you do to other people who are considered to be the expert at any particular time, right? It could be Miss Deborah, right? I can look at Miss Deborah and I could be talking to someone that is in her age range, right? Somebody who's, fabulous and fierce. a seasoned woman, right? I'm going to speak so highly of Miss Deborah. At that point, she is my expert. Now, she is not my sponsor. She's not my upline, but because I'm using her, right? And I'm making her the expert. When I actually introduce Miss Deborah to my personal, to my prospect, of course, now they're going to have respect for Miss Deborah and they're going to listen a little bit more to Miss Deborah. And because they're listening a little bit more to Miss Deborah, then they're going to pay attention to me. As Mr. Scott said, it's always just the edification triangle. So I just want to say, start now, guys. Start now. Just learning how to edify. When we get on these calls, listen to how people are being introduced, right? Pay attention to how they're being introduced. Write down notes. You never know. Coach AB might call on one of you guys, Ariel, and say, hey, I need you to introduce me on the call tonight. So just start paying attention to how people respond to each other, how people speak, how people edify each other, and start practicing now, right? Just start practicing now. So that's all I wanted to add, and I'll turn the call back over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you just sharing that. You dropped a ton of nuggets and notes on that right there as well. And I appreciate you guys respecting how we coach in this process and how we teach, because this stuff is really important. A lot of times people think it's a bunch of other stuff. Trust me, before I'm going up, I'll probably have someone to give you 3 things to do for sales today, because that's the part. What you gotta do is do that work on top of what we're talking about, and everything else will be okay. As we keep moving the needle, you'll get this thing going, but you got to keep moving the needle. Deborah, did you have a question or something you want to better share, young lady? Let me see something ahead. How do you pronounce your last name? Was it Breland?
Breland, be
Breland.
real on D. Yeah.
Okay, Miss Breland, take it away, young lady.
Okay. First of all, thank you all for everything that you're doing. I know when I was coming up in the network marketing, when it came to edification, I would never ever make a 3-way call unless the person has been exposed to the material. And I was taught that edification process shouldn't, once I connect you after edifying you, it shouldn't take more than 3 minutes. Anything more than 3 minutes is a presentation. And that's how I learned. And it worked well for me because it didn't keep you tied up, and they had seen the information so they could ask any question. And I would edify you, and then I would tell you who they were. I would tell you who they were and edify you. So sometimes I've experienced situations where someone would call me to do edification, but the person they didn't even know what we were doing.
What we was talking about.
They didn't know what we were doing. So I was taught never, ever, ever to call my upline, waste their time to get somebody on the call with them that doesn't even know what we're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would make sure they saw the information and get their questions answered. If I couldn't answer it, well, I don't have an answer, but I have a sponsor that can help you. But they're busy. Sometimes they're very busy. So if they don't answer, it's not because they're neglecting my call. They'll call right back. I always let them know that if I can't get you, they'll call back.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
so
ma'am.
It worked wonderful for me.
Well, you're exactly right, because to this day, first question I asked, I said, what did they see? When somebody said I got a 3-way call, I always say, what did they see? Because I have to understand what they saw. Don't just throw me on a call looking for me to do a presentation. Don't look for me to swing your person around and say some magical words. And I'm saying, you already throw my energy off when you do that already. When you catch me off guard with well, that's what they look at. They look at nothing. Or they'll tell me, or they'll watch. I said, yeah, I got them on the presentation. So when I asked the person, I said, what did you like best with what you heard? They go, oh, I didn't see anything. I ain't see nothing. I'm like, somebody lying on the call, or they'll tell the person, yeah, I watched it. So when I get on the call, I said, you look at the information. They'll say, yeah. I said, how much of it? I said, how much did you listen? They'd be like, about 10 minutes or so. I said, well, you listen. I want them to watch the information first because it makes it easier for us to answer some questions. Also, it makes it easier for when they say, well, I can't do this. So what I did with you? Well, you sent some information to me. What you do? I watched it. What I do after that? We got me through a call with somebody. What you do after that? Well, they asked me a couple of questions, and they told me to either join or they helped me sell. I bought the product. They told me to buy the products. So that meant it shows the people that there's a system that the business can flow, even because you want your business to grow not because of you, but in spite of you, and you want your people to see that the business can grow not because of them, but in spite of them. So we always make sure people understand there's a system. All right. So as I start to wrap up the call, guys, let me get in and give this to you guys really quick. All right. Now, these are de-edification by actions. All right. As I was saying earlier, like arriving late. If we have breaks and we some people come back so late, either from the meeting to the meeting, or they come back late from a break. And we say there's a break time, you got to be like in the seats quickly, so that the guests and everybody else and your team can see. Because the funny thing is, like, a lot of people, by the time they log on to this call late, all right, they have already missed a lot of when Nikki said things in the very beginning, things Sonia may have said in the very beginning, a lot of things they missed, and by the time they're on, they're trying to catch up, or they're trying to get bits and pieces of something. When you need the entirety from the very first slide. You need the entirety from the edification of what's about to happen before the slide starts. All these things are important, because there's going to be a time when it's time for you to use the same information. Like this stuff, you know where I got this from? I was taking so many notes. I actually record and take notes. And I'm a person where I know I have to teach it. So I would record it, take notes, and then I would create PowerPoints and things like that, or ask somebody to do it for me of all my notes, so I can know how to properly relate the information, because I can't try to remember everything by myself. I know today people don't like to use PowerPoints and stuff, but I'm like, some people are visual. They got to be able to see this stuff so they can write it down. They can go back to it. Like I said, leaders take notes, study notes, implement notes. And sometimes it's challenging, especially taking notes from me. I already know I'm a New Yorker. I know I talk a million miles a minute. I already know that. Some people don't know they talk fast, Sonia. I know for a fact that I talk fast. All right. When you're talking so fast, you're talking too fast. I'm like, well, no, you're listening too slow. Get ahead and step up your listening game. It's what it is. It is what it is. All right. So that's what it is, man. But I know it. So because of it, I know, because when I'm listening, and again, I'm going to train you guys on certain ways of how people auditory learners, and I go deep into a lot of stuff. What makes me successful at this is understanding the psychology of people and circumstances and things like that. All these things that's important, that when you actually have a chance to communicate with somebody, that's why I love having like these one-on-ones with people, because I'm able to move people differently than I can do in a group. Because I'm able to recognize certain patterns, and because success has patterns and failures have patterns. How people show up in life has a pattern. All these things, and you can learn by asking certain questions, and how they do their self-talk. All these things are important. So guys, make sure that you're like not taking notes. That's de-edification. Interrupting your upline during a meeting or presentation. That's de-edification. If I'm talking, you go, yeah. Tell them about. That's de-edification. If they're in the process of, like I told you, I already know I'm a person where I'll go down the rabbit hole, and it's challenged me to come back in the same hole. So when I go down the hole, Christian, I start telling a story inside of a story inside of a story. And if you throw me off, I come up on the other side of the rabbit hole, and I forgot to give you the last 3 notes or 4 notes because somebody threw me off because of something else. So I'm like, don't throw me off. Don't throw the speaker off. Don't say, make sure that you allow them to go through the presentation. Missing leadership and training team calls. That's de-edification by actions. Now I understand that life and people got different things going on. I understand people that get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. You can't get on everything. I get that. But when you can, just missing it because you're like, I don't feel like doing it right now. And then you watch you on TikToks and a bunch of other stuff. Or sometimes I'll be on a training call, then I'll get a message that somebody went live on a call, somebody went live on Instagram, somebody didn't tag me in something. I'm like, and then that same person be calling me saying, you know what, this thing ain't working. I'm like, no, you're not working because you're not plugging in, you're not being with the information, you're not staying close to the flame, close to the fire. All right. So don't be missing these training calls and team calls, not returning your upline calls. That stuff is important. That's de-edification. If Twyla called me, if I miss it, I make sure I call her back. Now this is the funny thing is, I was telling AB, I said, Twyla good? I said, I call her like every day. I talk to Twyla today, all right? I said, Twyla, I said, this is day 5. Now she'll text me because she's been busy. I know she had a lot of stuff going on. But I told her, she's like, no, you know, Jason. I said, girl, I know. I said, listen, I'm creating a condition in my mind. I'm like, I'm gonna get my numbers up. I'm gonna get my volume up. I'm gonna get my check match so strong that as soon as I call, you're gonna be like, I gotta take this call. It's my check match. She started laughing. I said, listen, I know you're busy, girl. I said, I know if I call you, if you don't answer, you're on a 3-way call, some other stuff. Some of you guys get upset, get mad that if somebody don't answer the call, take it some type of way. You can't. I already know it was close to her birthday. I know what was going on. I know all the stuff she has going on. So I don't take no disrespect for none of that stuff. She still, if I'm texting, she's returning the text messages, even if she can't return a phone call. But I recognize that by not returning her call, if she calls me, that's de-edification. When she finally calls me, and then I'll get back with her when I get back with her. I'll get back with him when I get back with him. No, you got to return the phone call. That it allows you to show honor. Talking on the phone or texting during presentation. We talked about this earlier, right? When a presentation is going, you sitting in the meeting. Like when you guys get to Atlanta, don't be in the front rows or up there on your phones. And now I know we be doing things and showing videos and going live and stuff like that. It's a different day and age. But there's a difference when people are like trying to go live and doing some other things than when they just really like somebody talking and training. And the last thing you want to do is when there's a meeting going on and your guest sitting right next to you, you like this, yeah. And the presenter's presenting. You didn't edify this person as this expert. And now while they're talking, you're like, yeah. You're having all this fun talking. Now your guest is not hearing nothing. By the time they're done, you want your expert to try to convince them when he was on the stage or she was on the stage literally doing the entire presentation, and they would have got what they had to hear, but because you're like, yeah, let me tell you something that no, stay focused on the training, stay focused on the presentation, because that's de-edification. Arguing with your upline and downline in public. If you got a challenge with your people, take it to the side. Talk to them later. Don't do it in front of your people. Talking negative about your upline or downline with your cross lines, don't do that. That's de-edification as well. Leaving the room while your speaker's being introduced, don't do that and stuff, man. If your speaker's talking, show up, stand there, be there, show respect. Don't let them be edifying how great this person is, and you getting up and rolling out and leaving like it's not important. Because everything that you're doing in this process is de-edification by your action. All right? Because when you get into the routine of edifying people, guys, it becomes a habit. It becomes something that you do throughout your life. It will take it won't just make a difference in your business, but to make a difference in your personal life. That's why Nikki said at first it's uncomfortable a lot of times. It's uncomfortable when you start to edify people because people are not used to talking highly about other people. They used to, I'm not going to be talking. Why I got to talk about them? I got it going on too. No, this ain't that. This business ain't that. All right. I know how you get down in the street. Yeah. Let me tell you how people know me. Yeah, I know. I know how you get down in the streets, but this right now ain't that. That's how we say, nigga, right? This ain't that. So don't come here with, let me tell you how I get. Yeah, I know. It'll make a difference in your business and your personal life. And people will notice a difference in you. And it'll attract other positive people in your life when you start to do it in this capacity. All right, guys, I want to make sure I covered that. If you guys got some insights or some good insights on edification, give me some 8s in the chat, because it's really important that you guys really, if you didn't, don't make it up. Don't put an 8 in there just because. But if you have, get some 8s in the chats and stuff if it brought any value to you from what we talked about today when it comes to edification. Also, guys, edification, after the calls, like if you guys on the chat, on the call, take some pictures, or if you guys screenshot some things, put it into the momentum group so people can recognize, oh my God, you missed it. And then post it also in the rebirth, so people can see. So I want them to be like, what they learned over there, because I want people to know, listen, it's important that they get this stuff. So if you guys have screenshotted things, be like, oh my God, this edification training was amazing, man. It was amazing. Show some love. Oh my God, when Sonia said this, when Nikki said this, when AB said this, make sure they recognize. When Deborah said this, make sure that they know that this is the place to be, guys. But I also want everybody else to step their games up. And I look for you guys to be able to learn some of these same strategies. I hold nothing back. Whatever I got as a tool, I give it as a tool. I let people use the same information, same training, because I just got it from somebody myself in the past. I got it in the past and I use it over and over and over again. So what I got, you got. What I have, you guys have. Our job is not to make you less than who we are. Our job is to teach you to be better than who we are. You know what I'm saying? Each one teach one, but build the next generation up that can become better. Life is filled with so many things going on right now, guys, that it could be challenging to stay focused on life. It can be challenging because there's so much negativity coming in. And even when life is happening and we start reading comment sections, the comment sections can be so nasty and terrible that you think that the whole world is against everything. It's like a battlefield sometimes in these comment sections. So I'm like, I don't even want to read the comment section. They throw my energy off. They make me not trust anybody when I'm out and about. You read a bunch of comment sections, soon you see people out and about, you like this. You can't even trust nobody. That's why I called John at the very beginning. I'm like, John, what's going on in the world? Because I've been on these comment sections like the last 2 years. It's crazy out here. I said, is people even still kind? Is people even, he was like, yeah. He said, yeah. People are. He said, cause I mean, I'm not making, I'm honest. I promise you, I'm like, yo, because I'm like, are people still kind? Are people still in the space where they want to learn, that they want to grow? Are you seeing great things from the people? And he was like, yes. And then he also told me, he said, but what I believe that the industry needs is people like you right now. They need people like you who can bring back this type of leadership that you have. And again, I know he was edifying me in the process or something, man, but but that's how I've always been. I want people to be better. I want people to learn lifelong skill sets that you can take and go build something big. The success that I look for is not in the accolades, but in the success that other people have. You know what I'm saying? When a coach and a mentor gives you the very best in them, the most you can do for them is go do the work, do the things that they teach. So Sonia, as you wrap up the call, I know we a few minutes over the hour. I want to have just give them 2 or 3 things you want them to focus on when it comes to sales. And again, listen, guys, should give you a couple of things to focus on some sales, to get some sales this week. We have closeout tomorrow, but please make sure you plug into your coaches. Please make sure you plug into myself. Please make sure that you take tomorrow seriously. Tomorrow we go into what we call the red zone. We got to get all sales in. We got to get it going. We have to feel the same way we feel when we got to pay that car note. We got to pay that phone bill. We got to get it done because before the time cuts off tomorrow night at 1 a.m. So we got tomorrow to plug it all in. So Sonia, give them some things that they need to do so they can get their sales up, get their confidence on some sales up so we can close out.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach. 2 things I want to give for you to get your sales up. Social media is a very, very excellent platform. People don't know you in business if you're not posting about your business. So go live talking about your the teas that we have. Go live with all 3 of our instant teas and create your own promo. Make it a sense of urgency. Whatever your promo is, create your own promo. I actually did that myself. And I actually, I had a lady actually 4 people contacted me today. I actually need to post it in our legacy group, what I got from the inbox, from the contacts. But create your own promo with these teas that we have. I'm not going to tell you what to create, but I'm going to tell you what I did. And so I posted a picture of me. I posted 3 separate pictures of myself, a selfie. I posted one with this, and then I have a shelf just like Jason's, but is on the right side here in my office, but with the lemonade tea. So I posted 3 separate selfies. I collaged them together, and some of you guys probably have seen it. Then I posted the banner of, where you can mix and match. So I actually mailed out some today. I mailed out some the other day, but anyway, as a promo, create that. Do that as to get your sales up. Reach out to some people who you know and say, listen, I have a promo on, you tell them what it is. You say, I have the watermelon tea. I have the fruit punch tea. I have the lemonade tea. I also have the original brewed tea. And the original brewed tea is $25, for a gallon. And then you let them know there's 5 of these for $25. You set your price. I'm just telling you what I said my price was. And people in your area they will drive to you. This lady Sunday, I met her at the Panera Bread. I have not honestly seen her in maybe 6 years. I hadn't seen her in 6 years. And so she actually reached out to me on social media, and she said she was going to go on Amazon, but she didn't like the reviews that she's seen. And because people were saying it wasn't authentic, whatever. And she said she didn't even know Jay and I was back. And she said she just happened to go on our page. She said, oh, wow. Now she lives all the way on the other side of Atlanta. And so she contacted me, and it was raining when she called. She was like, I really want some NutriBurst, a month supply of NutriBurst. I want some NRG and some tea. And I asked her, where does she live? She told me where she lived. I said, let's meet at a halfway point. Let's meet at 2:00. So anyway, she bought all that. Then she said, okay, I'm getting ready to go to California in 2 weeks to take care of my mom. Because my kid, but she said, well, how can I get it after this? Because I want to use this now. I want to start ASAP. So I told her how she could start. But she actually she said she went on our page and she saw this, but she didn't buy a sample. The trial. She bought the whole month supply of all 3 of those, but that's because of cash on hand. So 2 things I want to say: go live, talk about your products, and create your own promo. Because if you never ever talk about what it is that we have, how will someone even know what it is that you're doing? How will someone that know that they won't even know that you're in TLC? Because a couple of people that's in J&I organization, actually after the huddle that we had on Sunday, no, Friday, after that huddle, did we have a huddle Sunday? I can't remember.
Yeah. Our Sunday Vision Mastery. That's
oh,
what
okay.
TK did, right?
Okay, so anyway, after that, when it prompted me to go to certain people's page, and I actually reached out to them and I called them. I said, you know what? I wouldn't even know that you're in TLC. I said, you're in you. Some of them on here right now. I'm not gonna call no names. I said you didn't post not one person. You don't have to be J and I, but you didn't post not one person's recognition banner, not one. Out of all the people that promote, you didn't post. You didn't congratulate nobody. Went through their page. I said, I don't even know that you're in TLC. You never promoted about the tea. So how your network going to know? You have to let your network know what it is that you're doing. Whether they like coming or whatever, they see what you're doing if you continue to post consistency. So make sure you post what it is that you're doing, but create a promo to get your sales up. If you got products on hand, you don't want to just have them products just sitting there. You know, keep some for your own personal consumption, but actually, so the homework is today is Wednesday. So we meet back Friday, you know, let us know, but show proof. Don't just say, okay, this is what I did, but you have no proof. Show us proof with, you know, a Zelle. And I found out I'm going forward, it's going to be Zelle or PayPal or something because them cash apps, they done charge me a fee and me giving them my stuff, right? So I had 3 people to cash app me, and I don't use cash app like that. I'm like, they charge me $3. I done gave this stuff whatever. So I heard AB say, no, Zelle, no fee. And so, yeah. So anyway, so I want you guys to do that. So go live, you know, promote and talk about what it is that you have and create a promo and so you can get rid of the product. So there's 2 people that got their products actually on Friday. One lady sent me a text and say she's lost 5 pounds. So she actually ordered the 15-day challenge kit today because I actually, and that 5 pounds was from the 5-day trial. So I was super excited for her. She said I was 227 when I started, and she said I'm 223. So how many pounds is that? 4 pounds. That was 4 pounds. So now she told me today she's down. She lost another pound. So anyway, that's all I have. I got to count on my hand like our captain. I'm like,
yeah, okay, I'm the same way. I have to. Yeah, I no shame in my game. No shame to my game. That's why I get my calculator around. You start saying times, something. I'm like this. My eyes start crossing. Dyslexia kicks in. I'm like, I gotta use fingers and toes. So I get it.
But one thing I did want to say before we close tonight, when you were saying, you started off saying tonight about edification, you said a person don't know what they don't know. When we was in OG years ago, that was my first experience learning about edification. I never forget Mr. Ed Hartley, you know, bless his soul. He actually came down, we was on his 2nd generation. So he came to our house to do our first coffee jazz mixer. And I remember, you know, our upline saying, you know, Mr. Hartley. And I'm saying, I'm not calling him no Mr. I say, he's the same age I am. And so there's like, when you get him, I said, no, I ain't doing no Mr. I said, no, he Ed to me. And so, but that was being uncoachable. I mean, I didn't have the personal development then, Jay and I both. And then I was like, man, they must think we crazy. We finna call him no doggone Mr. What they think? But I didn't know. And so when we listened to the Cash Cow and we got more and more personal development, but that was my first introduction to edification. So like Mr. Scott said tonight, some of us don't know what you don't know because way back then, we didn't know what we didn't know. And I had never, even though we had been in the industry before then, we never had that. And nobody had never told us about edifying and why you have to edify until we listened to that personal development of the Cash Cow. Then it was like, oh, we've really been doing it all wrong. So I just had to add that little bit before, but I know you
that bit right there is important because a lot of times people always say, like I said, it wasn't until like recent years, like because of TLC that I wasn't, because a lot of people just call you by your first name. But even me, when I first started, my whole organization was always Mr. Scott, Mr. This, because we were still old school, because I understood it this way for myself. Since we were kids, everybody remember AB or Deborah, or Miss Breland, or Miss Black. You remember when we were kids, right? And you may say, maybe with your mother and your family, some family members come over and they be like, say Jake, and your kids be like Jake, and your mother be like this, be like that's Mister, that's Mister. You be like this. You know what I'm saying? That, but they had to be like that's you. But they still would like pop you in your mouth. So we have a muscle memory of like when somebody says something about Mister or Miss, or even in school, you don't call your teacher by the first name. So since we were in school in elementary, we knew that that was a level of respect. So naturally, whenever it came to doing that, we just naturally know that brings respect to this process. So that's why we always did that. And I know some people, they got way out of it. We just kind of been flowing with it and stuff, man. But that's the whole root of all the stuff that we got going on, guys. And because it's put people in another level where they automatically have a level of respect when you start saying this is Mr. They saw that you had some level of respect for this person. And that's why we did that for everybody who really want to understand that. But guys, I appreciate you guys logging in. Show some love in our chat groups. Show some love so people know everywhere that you guys are getting trained. I want the people to know. Show some love and stuff, man. But let your team know. Don't miss another call like this. If you're on these calls, show up on time, bring some value. You never know when I may open the call up and have you speak like Ms. Breland spoke today, because everybody, like Nikki said, everybody's going to get their chance. We want other people, Christian Walker. We want you guys, I'm saying, we want you guys to be able to, the walkers to be able to share and talk. And if you guys are winning and doing things, we want your voice to be heard, because this next generation, this thing is generational, but we're moving so fast that the next generation has to show up now. You have to start sharing now. You have to be available now so that we all can be able to leverage all these stories. I want to be able to leverage your story. Walkers, I want to leverage your story. Ms. Walton, I want to leverage your story. Ms. Breland, I want to leverage other stories, not just the same stories. We want to leverage other stories. So you got to make sure you're showing up. And we can't leverage a story if you're not showing up all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, if you de-edifying, we plug into our plugged in upline. We plug into the plugged in people. So to edify, that's part of this whole process. So I appreciate you guys for showing up, for logging in. I love each and every one of you guys. Always remember, giving the sum total of all your decisions. You cannot change who you are, but giving new life, new vision, new unity, you can change who you become. So with that, not tomorrow, next week, but like right now, go out and close out today, close out tomorrow, hit your ranks, get this director knocked out, and let's all just become. You guys have a great and a powerful new you. Love you guys. Everybody, let me mute your mic so you guys can say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.
Good night,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
Hey, good
Great
night.
call
Good night.
tonight.
Good
Great
night.
call.
Cheers.